Sometimes we need time in order to get to that place where we can have the hard conversation. But that doesn't mean we get to live in a harsh environment and create hell in our house. Assalamu alaikum, peace. It's Fatimah, Coach Fatimah, 1/3 of Outstanding Personal Relationships and co-author of the book, Let's Talk Polygyny Uncensored. That's right, it's going to be uncensored. In this video, I want to discuss something that is another awesome topic that I really love, and it's, are you friend zoning your husband? Now, what does that mean? Now, for those of you that have not reverted, or if you call it converted to Islam, or if you're not Muslim, that's fine. Everybody here that comes to us is welcome, as long as we keep it real and respectful. Now, friend zoning is, if somebody likes you, you just friend zone them. You put them off to the side and they become your friend. Nothing more. That's it. So there ain't nothing physical going on between you, is what that is. Now, that's just a piece of it, guys. Part of it, another part of that is your husband your friend? Do you have a friendship with him? Now, I'm going to go back to the first part, which is friend zoning. Now, some people that are, some wives have said, you know what? He got married again. I have no use for him outside of paying bills and taking care of me financially. I get it. I understand. But ask yourself, do you really want that kind of relationship with your husband? And sometimes, and I bring up friend zoning as something that's twofold. Have you pushed him to the side because you're upset with him? Have you pushed him to the side because you don't want to have the conversation? Maybe you're scared of the answers. But I find that part of healing is getting clarification on something that might hurt you. Maybe if you open up a conversation to him, and maybe you got to sit there as two friends and go, yeah, I don't understand. Can you give me some clarification? I have some questions. Can you answer them? And if they can't, and if they haven't thought that far ahead yet because they don't know how, or they don't have the tools, then let that be okay until they get them, until they discover what it is that they need to do. Because sometimes we're just finding out as we move along, because we're met with different challenges that we never thought we'd have.
We'd like to interrupt this video to let you guys know to make sure you are registered for the Women's Polygyny Masterclass. Yes, it's our 4-part Polygyny Masterclass with your coaches, Coach Nyla
and Coach Fatimah.
And we are going to talk about different things in preparing and thriving and growing in polygyny.
Yeah, and your co-wife connection. Everybody asks us, so we're going to go there. We're going to talk about all those things. We really hope you guys join us.
So make sure you click the link in the description and don't forget to register. We'll see you soon. I'll let you get back to the video.
So sometimes your husband gets friend zoned, and sometimes you got to have the conversation as two friends or build a friendship. Then that places him in a friend zone. That doesn't mean you're not the wife anymore. That just means you show up in a space where you're having a conversation as two friends would. We think about how we speak to our spouse versus how we speak to our good, close friends. Do we really do we stand over them in judgment? And then, people go, oh no, Coach Fatimah, we're not sleeping with our friends. I hope not. Because then if you're doing that, then you really got a problem. Careful. Anyway, um, it's important to build a friendship within the marriage. It's important to get to a space where we're not friend zoning each other and we're taking care of the business that married people take care of. But sometimes it can get awkward. Sometimes you're hurting so much. That's the last thing on your mind. But sometimes you got to have that conversation in order to get back with each other and make sure that everything's right in the world between you two. That doesn't mean you're not going to get met with more trials and tribulations. That doesn't mean that the conversation is going to be easy, but it's not an impossibility. But part of being friends and part of being lovers and part of being spouses is coming together and setting or laying your judgment to the side. Because then that is an environment of safety and sanity and serenity. And that's where hard conversations can begin. When you say, you know what? I'm going to take this wall down so we can have a conversation. And your husband can say, okay, I'm going to take my force field down so that we can have the conversation. But I don't know everything yet. I'm still figuring it out. See, I'm noticing that people got time to figure things out, and they're allotted that time to figure things out until it comes to the conversation in which men marry more than one woman. When he creates another marriage with someone else, that's not okay. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear your experience. I don't want to be understanding. I want to sit and be judgment and in judgment, and I want to protect my ego. Nah. Sometimes we need time in order to get to that place where we can have the hard conversation. But that doesn't mean we get to live in a harsh environment and create hell in our house. Because when you create hell in your household, you're healing. You're putting distance between you and the healing. If he needs to say to you, if you need to hear, I got your back, it's going to be okay. I ain't going nowhere. I'm not going anywhere. You can't say that. If every time the conversation is open, there's judgment waiting on the other side, and people don't want to say those things because then they feel like it ain't going to do no good. I'm not being heard because I don't care how big, how bad, how tough a man is, how strong his face can be, he can still experience pain. And he can experience pain from his wife or his wives, his children, his parents, his brother, his sister, his auntie, his uncle. Maybe they're a little bit better at bearing it, but it's there. And people need to know full well that it is there. I can't measure it. All men are not made the same, but I know they experience mental trauma, physical and emotional trauma. And this world has said, you shut up because we don't want to hear what you're going through. If you don't believe that, turn the TV on. Look at social media, mocking them for having emotional breakdowns or frustration. Turn it on. Turn it on because, see, the enemy set it up that way. Do it. You don't have to believe me. You sit in front of an idiot box for a little while. You'll see it. Especially men that are black and of color. But that's a whole nother video. I'll have to film that in sometime in the near future. But let's open up the conversation at the appropriate time. Talk to our husband, talk to our friend, let them talk to their wife, talk to their friend. You know, he might have 1 or 2 friends, might have 3 friends, might have 4. And they're his wives. But let's be careful of the friend zone. Let's make sure it's a healthy space and not somewhere that we just try to shove them to the side and erase who they are, who they're trying to be, who they've been for us. Let's kind of remember the goodness in our husbands, the goodness and our husbands when they're our friends too. Okay? So I hope you all got some gems from this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed speaking to you all. I always say that because I always mean it. And if I didn't mean it, I wouldn't say it. Now, with that, make sure you all are following us on our social media platforms, on YouTube and on Facebook at Outstanding Personal Relationships, and on IG at Outstanding Relationships. Make sure you are commenting, liking, and subscribing, and make sure that you put in the comments, husband, my friend, in the comments, okay? Now, I'm Coach Fatimah, 1/3 of Outstanding Personal Relationships. And I'm going to leave you all with a little GLC. But before I do, make sure you're visiting us for details about our coaching and counseling at outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/store for details. And I will see you guys in the next one. Here's a little GLC. Make sure you're growing intentionally, loving fearlessly, and connecting on a higher level every single day. I will see you all in the next one, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.
Here are 3 ways Outstanding Personal Relationships can help you.
Make sure you guys are following us on our social medias at Outstanding Personal Relationships on YouTube and Facebook, and on IG at Outstanding Relationships, and also Clubhouse under our names.
And make sure you go to outstandingpersonalrelationships.com and sign up for our email list. And there you will get updates on our new book, Let's Talk Polygyny Uncensored.
Absolutely. And last but not least, when it comes to coaching or counseling, if you want to work with us one-on-one or in group settings, make sure you're on that website and reach out to us, because we do have very limited spots and we usually have a wait list. So with that being said, GLC.
Make sure you are growing intentionally,
loving fearlessly,
and connecting on a higher level every single day. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.